Hey everybody, this is Deb with Truthification Chronicles, and I want to kind of give you a little more information on this. First of all, I did find out more about Joy Villa. Thank you so much for providing her name. I have seen her before. Let's see, she had a Trump dress on, and so I remember her with that, but I'm really bad with faces and things, and she's not someone I follow, so I didn't really know her. Now, I had heard about this kerfuffle because Mark Dice did a live stream and I watched that and he was talking about it. I thought it had happened on Friday. And of course, this happened on Thursday. So I was a little confused there. I didn't connect the two. And then he also was talking about Sebastian Gorka. Well, this part of the video did not show Sebastian Gorka. So again, didn't connect, although it was the same players and everything. So I have watched more on it, so I am more up to speed. It's just there were life things that came up the last few days that I had not had time to do that extra little step that I normally do. So I apologize for that. But really, as much as this kerfuffle was important to citizen journalists, there's another kerfuffle that is important to me that I think probably is more important than that one. Okay? And it has to do with this site right here, because this site gathers all of the notables from the research boards and it puts them all together here. Well, if you look down here, you'll notice that the last ones were 2 days ago. Why? Well, if you read up here, you can find out. There has been a big change, and it's not a good change, okay? The notables have been removed from each bread, which bread is a board. So there are no notables at the top. And that's a difficult thing for me to understand why they did it, because that's kind of like letting people know. I mean, nobody spends 24/7 on these boards. So it's nice if you're coming in and you haven't been there for a few hours, you can come in, you can glance over the notables, you can see what the last couple of boards were about and what they'd been digging on, and maybe there's something that you've got, information you can add to or whatever. Now, I do my share of digging, but I usually rely more on their digging, because when you get the notables, it usually means that there are 2 or 3 researchers who have agreed that, yes, that's important. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is, or it doesn't necessarily mean that it's something that needs to be brought to anybody's attention, but it usually does. Right now, they've moved all of the notables to a separate bread, which means that now, you have to go 2 different places, which is inconvenient, but not a problem if you know how to navigate. But a lot of new people don't know how to navigate well, so it's hard for them to figure it out, and it's not something that they would necessarily go to look for separately, because there are a lot of breads of all different kinds in the catalog. And the other problem with them being in a separate bread is that they're not limiting it to just one. Well, that means that if you have one board that goes by, and you may have like 4 or 5 different researchers posting notables, and the notables may or may not be the same, and you don't know if more than one person thought that was notable or not. It's really very, very confusing. And the 17th letter of the alphabet made his stance on it. He took this comment by one of the researchers and he, reposted it, and that means that he supports it. He's confirming it. So, that's what he has to say. And I don't understand, because the board owner, it's like he's not even paying attention. So a lot of people are saying the board owner is comped and wants to know why he's not going to be replaced, or there might not be a migration to another board controlled by another board owner. So it is really a big deal, in my opinion. Now, the fact that the 17th letter of the alphabet has not weighed in more than this, because this was back on the 11th that he did this. And like I said, I've been kind of caught up in all of this, so that's part of the reason I haven't, been up on the other kerfuffle. But that was the 11th. And today, when I'm recording this, it's the 14th. So where has he been? Well, that's why I said in the last video, maybe this is a connection in with the New York blackout, maybe there's a reason why he hasn't been able to moderate that kind of thing going on the boards. So I don't know. I expect him to weigh in on it one of these days, although he really already did. But he's going to have to do something else because it's causing a huge problem there, and it's splintering the researchers, which is really bad because we need them. And I'm not sure the board owner understands what the role of the boards are, because the boards are for digging. That's why they have them, so that they can dig on the things they need to. But digging only benefits the movement if that digging is disseminated. And, I kind of see myself as a person that's a go-between, where I can go to the boards, I can participate in the boards, and I do, and I offer them research. I find things, because my specialty is really watching the documents that are coming out. And so when I find good documents, I try to put them in there. But it does no good if all we're doing is putting these documents in there for each other. It has to be able to come out. And for people like me, that's what I see my role as doing, taking the information that they're digging on and then disseminating it to people so they can then disseminate it to their friends and family. And that's how and why this movement is growing, because we're getting the information. We've got people that are really good at digging. Now, I like to dig, but I'm not, like an A+ digger. I sometimes miss a few things. But the people on this board, there are some that are very astute, and they pick up on the smallest little details that I would have missed. And that's the beauty of having a research community, because one person may see one thing, another person may see another. And when you come together and you all bring your information together, then it makes a bigger picture, and you can see that picture much better when you have all these different eyes looking at it. So with this, like I said, my job is kind of to disseminate the information that I'm finding there. But when you're talking about the notables being kind of compromised, because you just don't know if they're very valid or not, because you're not in on the discussion. You have to go to a separate board, and then people aren't discussing whether that is or isn't a notable. I think it really has degraded the quality of the information in the notables. So this site can't pick them up yet, or at least it hasn't. It's waiting for things to settle down a little. But I'm waiting for the 17th letter of the alphabet to weigh in on this again, because it's not good there right now. The researchers are not happy, and it's causing a lot of problems. I was on there yesterday somewhat, and I'm telling you, it's just not a good environment right now. They're not happy, and it's hard for them to do digging. There's so many shills making posts. And, it's just getting very difficult. Not that I don't expect it, okay? We knew the boards would be under attack, and they are right now, because the deep state's getting desperate. So we know that they're trying to fight back. But, it does get a little difficult when you're kind of on the front lines there. So I wanted to let you know this is going on, because, again, I don't expect everyone who watches my videos to be aware of what's happening on the boards, because the boards aren't for everyone. They're for people that are really good at digging. And, that's what we need to keep it, because unless they dig, we can't disseminate the information. So I try to do everything I can to help them. I try to make sure that I'm digging as well. So I'm giving back as much as I can. And, we need to all pull together in this, because we all have different skills. We all have different abilities. And as long as we are together on this, where we go one, we go all. And that's an important thing to remember, because we've got to pull together and to become the news. We are the news. And if there's infighting and everything else that's going on, which is what's happening right now, I don't know. And a lot of the researchers are calling for the board owner to be removed. And the board owner was not real nice to me when I tried to point something out. And so, it's a stressful situation for everybody. And it's not easy. And I know the bakers had a really tough job trying to pick up all those notables. But I just can't see any advantage of taking them out of the dough. I can't see it. So, what are you going to do? I guess you just keep on going. But we'll see what happens. This kerfuffle, as I said, is more important to me right now, and is something that I'm trying to keep on top of, but it takes a lot of time to make sure that you're catching all the information. So I wanted to update you in case you're an occasional researcher and you dip in there from time to time. That's what's happening. And if in case you don't go there at all, you need to know what the battle is and what's happening with the people who are digging to find this information for us. So anyway, that's what I've got for you on this one. I just wanted to keep you updated. So I'll let you know if I find out anything more. Want to thank you for stopping by, and I'll see y'all later.